which is useful. And it doesn't need to climb very high, which is nice if you're not great at pulling tall forms. This is maybe one of the easier things to work with. What you do want to do though is make sure that you've got the clay wide enough to be a good foot. You're going to trim out a fair amount of weight. So I'm going to push this clay, compress it outward so that I get a wider panel. Okay, and then opening up, you're going to leave more fat. You don't have to go down and make a thin bottom. You actually want a lot of weight because you're going to turn the plate over typically and trim the weight out. So you don't need a thin bottom. So take my sponge here, a little bit of water, press down. I use my thumb. Whoop. And I'm going to stop about halfway down, maybe not that much. About a ½ inch. And I probably could have left more. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw outward and make the base of the plate, trying not to draw downward, just outward. And I've got quite a bit of weight underneath here. It is not well or thinly thrown. I'm pushing the clay back and forth a couple times. Make sure that that base area is well compressed. Compress the outer lip. And right now I've got quite a bit of clay, quite a bit of weight down in the lip area here. And what I want to do is I want to pull that outward, but at a slight angle upward. If I have too much straight out, it will weaken at this point and collapse away. And wouldn't be real surprised if that happened to me. But let me slow the wheel down a little bit. Get out here, and I'm just going to pull up a little bit to establish an edge, and then I'm going to throw to get an outer edge, and I give this a lot of support on the outside. I'm cupping my hand under so I don't lose. Slow this down a little bit. Make sure that as I'm throwing, I compress. Got a little bit of an air bubble there that I didn't want. The intention is to lay that clay down, compress it nice and tight all the way across from the interior to the outer edge. I would say this might be a 10-inch plate, something between a salad and a regular plate. Slowing it down so that I can get the rib where I want it with the compression that I want. And the less water I use, the better off I am, because water just weakens everything. Compressing, but also holding on the inside. This turn right here at the base is the tough part. You want to make sure that's nice and smooth. I seem to be having an issue getting there. Moisture out of there. Nice, sweet. Slight sweep upward to give you some structural sound. And then I want to compress that outer lip, because like always, that's where the strength is. Might want to roll that in, make a little bit more of a bead. Separate that a bit more. I'd like to make it a bit more pronounced. That's a little better. Except now it's a bit too much like a bowl. Let's see if I can stretch that back out one last time into more of a plate form. There we go. Okay, what's important to understand or see that you can't see at this point, let me take this off the wheel, is that I have not used much clay to climb. I am using a lot of clay for support. This sucker's heavy. So you can see I've got a lot of structure beneath this. A lot of that's going away after the plate dries enough. I can see something here that I'm not keen on yet, is that center area does not look as compressed as I'd like it. So I'm just gonna force the issue here with some throw lines. When you see S-cracks in pottery bottoms, that has all to do with too much water, not enough compression in the center of the pot. That's better. Let's see if I can get rid of those throw lines. Okay, simple plate. A little bit of a ragged edge. Need a chamois to clean that up. Lots of compression on the inside, lots of bulk on the outside. Those are the things to keep in mind.